Alright, what is going on YouTube? Adonis coming back at you with a brand new video today, and we have got episode 3 of our rebuilds here in Madden 24. We are going to be doing the Washington Commanders. Obviously, I'm going in draft order, right? Started with the Broncos, my favorite team. Just did the Panthers, which was a blast. Now we've got the Commanders with Jayden Daniels on the team. Very, very interesting, I think, from a development standpoint and kind of what we're going to be looking to do with him. Without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look at the team, and then we'll dive right into this rebuild. So obviously at quarterback, we had the number 2 overall pick, Jayden Daniels. We've also got Brian Robinson Jr. at running back and Eckler. Probably going to be playing Robinson over Eckler, if I'm going to be honest. We've also, of course, got Scary Terry McLaurin. We've got Jahan Dotson, as well as De'Ami Brown and Luke McCaffrey, right? So maybe looking to improve at wide receiver at some point, but this offensive line is not great. I'm going to be honest. Like, it is tough, especially just because, like, you're coming in as a rookie. Your blindside tackle is not very good. Your strong side tackle is not very good, right? Interior's a little better, but like probably going to look to address tackle in the draft at some point. Tight end, Zach Ertz is great, I think, as a good red zone threat. A little bit older now, but should be serviceable at the very least. Now, moving over to the defense, it's a really interesting kind of look at our 4-3, right? Brought in Chin. I think he's going to be awesome. We've got Forrest at free safety as well. We've got like Ben St. Juste. We've got Emmanuel Forbes. We've got Egbenogany at cornerbacks, who are like, it's a decent group. It's not great. They did get torched a lot in real life. I think the strong point for this team, though, is the front seven. For sure. You've got Jonathan Allen and Daron Payne. You've got Doris Armstrong. You just drafted Johnny Newton, right? You just drafted John Baptiste. You've got Jamin Davis. You've got Bobby Wagner. You've got Frankie Louvu, right? So very strong front seven that I'm really going to expect a lot from, if we're going to be honest. And I am going to switch Johnny Newton over to right end because I do think, like, realistically, that's where they'll play him. It's kind of tough at this point because it wasn't like a position of need. You've got 2 of the best defensive tackles in the NFL already, and then you go ahead and draft a phenomenal defensive tackle, but just not really a crazy need. So we'll go ahead, we'll go in the depth chart and reorder that, but I think the defense looks pretty good front seven wise. I think strong and free safety are definitely good. Like, Chin should be great in my opinion. I think he's going to be awesome. Hoping Emmanuel Forbes can develop a little bit, but yeah, I mean, I'm going to make some adjustments and then we are going to hop into the regular season. So this is our starting squad rolling into the season. Definitely interested to see how this goes. CPU is reordering things. I need to go ahead and change that setting because that's always really annoying. But I mean, looks pretty much like what we would want, right? If John Baptiste can develop, I think he'll be great. Maybe look to move Jonathan Allen or Daron Payne at some point. Doris Armstrong's a guy I'd love to develop a little bit. We've also got like Dante Fowler and Cleveland Farrell. So like pretty decent depth overall. Also this guy's name is crazy. Fedarian Mathis. There we go. Got I think a decent shot at being competitive. We are going to shoot for 7 wins on the season. And yeah, man, I mean, I will see you guys in week 8. All right. So here we are at the mid-season mark and we are not performing at all. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look at our schedule, man. Like, what's been going on? Why are we losing? 24-35, 28-35, 18-21, 21-28, 21-35, 28-23. We win. We lose 14-31. Very interested to see what is going on defensively and offensively. May make some playbook changes as I usually do. It looks like Daniels is not really... that's not a bad stat line. 7 games into his rookie season. I hope the rushing numbers are good, but that's not particularly like terrible. Rushing wise, Daniels has rushed quite a bit. And I mean, Robinson's getting a lot of touches and getting into the end zone. So it seems like it might be defensively we are struggling, and Jesus. Luke McCaffrey, CMC's younger brother, balling out so far for us, our leading receiver in yards and touchdowns. Jahan Dotson continuing to develop, love it. And then Scary Terry, obviously just a production machine. Zach Ertz, we want a little bit more touchdowns from him. Taking a look defensively, right? Like, what's going on? What is happening for this team to not be performing? We're not getting a lot of pressure, right? Doris Armstrong has 2 sacks, that's the most on the team. Payne, John Baptiste, like, we're not doing great at all. terms of turnovers, just 1 on each side, right? So I'm wondering if, like, do we come out and do we try to sling the ball a little bit more? Because I'm not seeing, and maybe scheme up some more sacks, right? Offensively, we're doing well in terms of yards. Defensively, though, we're letting up a lot, right? So we're gonna go ahead and change around kind of our scheme defensively, and we really want to engineer more pressure than anything else, right? Like, that's what we want. If we get more pressure, we'll be able to create turnovers. If we create turnovers, we'll be able to win more games. I think that's kind of what this team needs to do to be able to win games, right? Offensively, didn't really look too bad. Like, overall solid, especially touchdown production from our starting running back, Brian Robinson. But yeah, I mean, let's take a look at the scheme defensively, right? We're in a base 4-3. I think a 4-6 might be a little bit more kind of up our alley. Heavy blitz package, if you will, or blitz, I guess, formation. So, I mean, we'll see, man. I think we should be good to go at 4-6. We're going to switch the playbook around. I mean, it is power run right now. I would like to be a little bit more, maybe zone run or West Coast a little bit. I do like the idea of running San Fran's playbook. I think that's not a bad idea. And then we're going to switch to defense to the 4-6 for New Orleans. I think these two will be good combinations. I think we have the backs to run this San Fran offense. I think it'll be good. I think for Daniels, like short intermediate, kind of going to be, what we want to get him going at. Definitely intrigued to see how we can finish the season, man, because this is not looking too great so far. So we were able to finish the season 7-10, which is a lot better than we had been doing. Means we're still going to be drafting pretty high, which I think is good. Let's take a look at the stats and, see kind of what happened in the latter half of the season. So Jayden was able to throw for 31 touchdowns to only 10 picks. I think that's great. Throwing yardage or passing yardage wasn't like phenomenal, but I hope he ran a lot. He didn't run like a crazy amount, which is, I mean, fine by me, but that puts him at about 4,000 total yards of offense. I love it. And Brian Robinson Jr. was able to get 17 scores. I think that is like kind of perfect, right? He's going to be a little bit more of a bell cow back. I think works well in that Shanahan style offense. Receiving wise, Luke McCaffrey was able to tear it up from the slot, man. I mean, 17 touchdowns for Luke McCaffrey is actually kind of insane. Goes to show slot receivers in Kyle Shanahan's offense go crazy. Scary Terry and Jahan having decent years, and Ertz coming in, able to finally get in a touchdown, right? But I think the story is probably going to be the changes on defense that we made, right? Yep, able to just produce a lot more in the latter half of the season. Able to get a lot more sacks. Absolutely love it. Looks like Johnny Newton didn't play as big of a role as we were hoping. And then interceptions-wise, again, bringing more pressure, able to create more turnovers. I think that's kind of the story that is being told right there. Deron Payne able to get 15 TFLs. Solid season overall, solid season. Going from 1-6 to finishing 7-10. Offensively, we finished 21st. And then defensively, we were able to improve a bit. So really, I mean, probably going to be looking for, in the draft, kind of best player available, and I don't really think we've got to pay anybody, which is pretty nice. Yeah, man, I mean, Brian Robinson, Eckler, all these guys developed really well. Daniels up to an 80 overall. Obviously going to be looking to address offensive line if we can in the draft. And then defensively, right, still don't know why Johnny Newton keeps getting moved down. I don't like that. But, it's good to see Emmanuel Forbes, was able to develop a little bit more. St. Juste was playing better. Chin did well, right? This is kind of what we need from this team because we do have such a strong front seven. We've just got to be able to utilize them, right? So without further ado, let's go ahead, head into the off season and see what we can get rocking and rolling, man. See if we can't bring in some players that are going to improve the team. So we actually did have Luke McCaffrey win Offensive Rookie of the Year for the NFC. I think that's awesome. That is very surprising. I doubt that would happen in real life. But able to, come in and be an impact player in the slot right away. Absolutely love it, man. I think that's huge. He's probably gotten bumped up to all the way up to superstar, which is awesome, man. I mean, gonna continue to develop that guy. And now we've kind of got a core trio to build around with Scary Terry, Jahan Dotson, and then Luke McCaffrey coming in. I mean, if Jayden Daniels can continue to develop, I think that we'll definitely have something there. So we do have some guys that are ready to negotiate. We've got Eckler, not going to be bringing him back. We are certainly going to pick up Jamin Davis's 5th-year option. Doris Armstrong, I would like to keep around. We'll see if he comes back. He's going to test out free agency, right? So kind of still need to improve on that defensive line a little bit. Would love to have Jeremy Chin back. Safeties are pretty cheap. Yep, definitely okay with overpaying for him. Would like Frankie Louvu back. Gonna be kind of expensive, to be honest. But, I mean, I'm okay with having him there. I would like to bring Tyler Biadasz back as well. Centers are pretty cheap. Gonna play for a new team, so we're gonna have to do some big-time replacing. We're not gonna bring back Leland Farrell. We're not gonna bring back Mariota. I don't think we're really gonna bring back any of these guys left, right? Because now we have a ton of cap space available, which is huge for this team, because I think really they do need to go out in real life and get players in the offseason after Daniels' first year, after they kind of see what they have with him. So let's take a look at the free agents that are available. We've got Amari Cooper, Michael Pierce. Not a loaded free agency class. Wouldn't mind bringing in Jamal Adams. I mean, really, we're looking offensive line more than anything else. At tackle, we could bring in some older guys. At center, Biadasz is there. Same with Mustafa. I'm going to go ahead and offer on Biadasz just because I doubt he's going to really get that many offers, and I would like to have him back. We've got Cesar Ruiz, who we can pick up. I'm going to go ahead and offer him as well. I would like to see if there are any cornerbacks that are available that we can bring in. Got Kashawn Nixon, Mike Jackson as well. I'm going to go ahead and bring in Gilmore on a 2-year, see if we can get him on a 2-year. I think that would maybe help the defense out a little bit more. Yeah, just a lot of, like, not a whole lot here from... I mean, we've got like Michael Pierce, but we've already got our guy. There are 2 guys actually at defensive tackle, technically 3 even. Just one of those things where I'm not like really wanting to bring him in. Jamal Adams, I think, is someone we'll offer on. Again, we do have just a ton of money to go out and spend, right? So I don't think that's like a bad idea necessarily. I would like to bring back Doris Armstrong as well. We're just going to try and get these guys back in free agency. So players have submitted offers. We were able to get through Jamal Adams. Michael Pierce is not signing with us. Gilmore is also not signing with us. We're still working with Doris Armstrong, so let's go ahead and see if we get that one. We are able to bring back Doris Armstrong, which I like a lot. And then we've also got, those are the only 2 that we were able to get, right? So I am all good with that. I think that puts our team at a pretty decent spot heading into the draft. Without further ado, man, let's get this team some help. Let's continue to build on kind of what we've got going. So taking a look at where we're going to be picking, we're at 12, and they're projecting us a left tackle, which I think is kind of perfect for what we want, right? There's some right tackles. It looks like there's a lot of tackles down the board in this class, which I love. I mean, that's kind of perfect for what we want to do. Let's go ahead, man, and hop into the draft. I'm interested to see what we can kind of do with this draft. So we are drafting here at number 12. A lot of guys right here still. I mean, I'm seeing a playmaker, wide receiver, top 5 projected guy. We've got a left tackle that we're kind of liking, right? Looks like a pretty decent athlete. Pretty good impact block, pretty good lead block, decent pass block finesse, decent run blocking as well. I think a blindside tackle. I don't think you can pass up on this for Jayden Daniels. We are going to go ahead and draft him. Unfortunately, just normal dev, but I think that's a good plug and play option for us on the offensive line. And then we're going to go ahead and we'll sim to our next pick, which is going to be in round 2. A lot of cornerbacks available, which I could use for sure. I like the look of Josh Nobles out of Minnesota. Pretty good looking athlete overall. Very decent like traits, right? A-man, B catching, B zone. I think it's a good plug and play cornerback right here for us. Again, normal dev, but 94 speed. I think that's kind of, what we would need at this point, because we weren't able to shore up the secondary with Stephon Gilmore like I would have liked to. Coming in here, right, we've got, it's kind of like best player available. Could we use a right guard? More than likely, yeah, absolutely. I'm seeing pretty good awareness, decent pass block finesse, decent pass blocking. We're going to pull the trigger on right guard, Emmett Craig. Again, normal dev, right? Not drafting insanely well. And we'll go ahead and we'll skip to the end of this draft right here and just see what we got out with, man. I think getting a good tackle in the draft is kind of huge for us. And I think getting some cornerback help is definitely beneficial. And then another guard as well, right? Really trying to shore up the inside of that offensive line, or the offensive line as a whole. So we are able to make away with a pretty good cornerback, it looks like. It's 77 overall in the second round, right? Able to get decent plug and play options at offensive line. Checking the overall draft, we did have one of the highest rated players, one of the top 10, I would say, maybe 12. Definitely not upset about that at all. We did see Jaron Cole, but we weren't looking for a wide receiver. It wasn't something that we really needed. There was a 79 overall fullback in the 7th round. That's bizarre for sure. But overall, good draft, and I will see you guys as we prepare for the regular season in year number 2. All right, so here we are getting ready for season number 2. My apologies on the change in outfit and whatnot. I'm actually recording this a day later than when I had first started recording the video because I wasn't able to finish it all in time. And hopefully you guys will be seeing it tonight, which is the 8th. Honestly, I'm having a lot of fun recording these. Like, it's really kind of nice to change over to the more sim side of Madden as opposed to the constant negativity is what it feels like that we have in the Ultimate Team community. With that being said, let's go ahead, let's dive into what is our roster looking like, right? So we do have a star left tackle. I think that's definitely something that's really big. We've also got 2 superstar receivers and a star receiver in Jahan Dotson as well, which kind of leaves us, it lets us continue to develop a little bit. I do like Chris Rodriguez, loved him when he was at Kentucky. My younger sister went there for a year, so got to see him play in action at, I think it was against Northern Illinois State or something like that. Brian Robinson, obviously want to continue to develop him, right? Defensively, I think Baptiste, we've got Doris Armstrong, Jonathan Allen. I think he was Superstar X Factor, and now he's just down to Superstar. I don't love that. Obviously, I feel like we've improved a decent bit at the linebacker spot. Outside of our middle linebackers are dreadful. I don't know what's going on there. Definitely want to keep developing Baptiste. I really think, before we get into the season, we're going to look to move Jared Allen and maybe get some improvement on Jonathan Allen, and look to maybe get a little bit of improvement on the offensive line. Perhaps it's at center. Maybe we play Allegretti there. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and shop around our boy and see what we can get back for him. So here are our offers. We've got quite a few to go over. Realistically, would be looking to get a young player in. Diamador Lenore and a second is really, really interesting. I think we're going to have to pull the trigger on Diamador Lenore. He's 24 already and 85 with Star Dev, right? Really can help out St. Just and Emmanuel Forbes, and we pick up a second for next year's draft. And I mean, the cap hit, look at that. So we get a little bit of wiggle room. I like that. I mean, it might not be kind of what everyone else would do, but now we can move Johnny Newton to that starting defensive tackle role, and I think he's going to play lights out. So now we've got Johnny Newton plugged in. We've still got Daron Payne. Now we have Doris Armstrong on the outside. We've got John Baptiste. I like this a little bit more. Obviously, what's his face? Diamador has not come in yet, but going to be a big bump to the secondary. And I'm hoping that this front 7 can really be a strong point for us this year. So without further ado, let's go ahead. We'll sim to the regular season, go over any roster changes and who's starting and whatnot, and then I'll see you guys at the midseason mark after that. So there is one thing I am going to go ahead and do, and that is we are going to move Jartavius Martin to middle linebacker. Right, which is I know that's crazy. He's super light. Sitting behind Jeremy Chin with Star Dev, I really don't think makes sense, and I would like to at least give it a shot for the first, X amount of games of the season, because we are running this 4-6 heavy blitz defense. I think it might give Martin, a little bit, he might grow a little bit, right? We also signed Jamal Adams. Totally forgot about that, right? So we've got Chin, then Adams. We have kind of talent everywhere. I want to see how these guys get touches on the ball, right? I want to see, what kind of happens with that. But without further ado, man, I will see you guys at the midseason mark. I am very excited to see how the season goes. So, we are 2-5 at the midseason mark. I'm very interested to see, why is that, right? What's going on? Are we playing poorly? I mean, obviously we're playing poorly, but, is it the offense? Is it the defense? Is it a little bit of both, right? Let's see if we've got, any development trait upgrades. Doesn't look like. I mean, I would be surprised if we did have any. Jamal Adams is playing dreadfully. We're going to start Jeremy Chin over him. Let's take a look at our stats as a team. So stats-wise, from Jayden so far, I mean, we're 2-5, right? So we're 7 games into the season. I feel that the touchdown interception yards ratio with 70% completion percentage, dude, that's not bad, right? Rushing the ball, Brian's doing, right? We don't want to be a super run heavy offense, so I'm fine with that. Obviously only averaging 3.7, like, it's whatever. But receiving wise, like, it looks like, whoa, Luke McCaffrey is having a down year and a half. De'Ami Brown and Jahan Dotson are actually popping. You know what I bet it is? Luke McCaffrey's probably not our slot guy anymore. We are going to have him as our slot guy. Have we been giving up a lot of sacks? Oh my god, our right guard, Ricky Stromberg, is dreadful. Oh, 4 sacks is not good, dude. With that being said, though, it's not like that many. I mean, if you doubled that, what is that? That's, off the top of my head, 11 sacks. Like, not terrible. If a quarterback gets sacked 22 times in a season, I feel like that's like a bit on the high end or mid to high end, but like it's not that bad. It's got to be the defense, right? And defensively, yeah, man, I mean, we're creating no pressure, which is resulting in 0 turnovers. We are tackling behind the line of scrimmage actually like pretty decently well. It's gotta be our defense, man. Team stats, if we take a look at defense, we are in the bottom half, right? 22nd. And offense, we're 14th, right? But I don't feel like we should be losing games that badly, right? That's like, it's kind of odd. Let's see. I mean, maybe we've just had a tough schedule. Perhaps that's what it is. So looking at our schedule, we started off strong and then we lost to the Bengals. I mean, that's a good team. We came back and we beat the Steelers. It looks like for the most part, I mean, like 2 out of our last 4 losses have been within 1 score, right? So, I mean, if we flip that around, then we're 4-2 at the midseason mark, right? It's one of those things where it kind of is what it is. Just got to see what we can do, man. I mean, we're definitely, dude, you are getting a hefty salary, Diamador Lenore. Gonna be one of our big guys. I would love to keep Sam Cosmi around. Guards are not that expensive. Derek Forrest is an interesting one because it's like I could just move Jeremy Chin to free safety and that's his kind of natural position. Anyways, with that being said, I think Forrest is good enough to just throw him a decent offer, right? We also have the money to just kind of throw money at players, right? I don't like to think about specifics too much. I do like De'Ami Brown. I would like to keep him around. Fucking, oh right, dude, that's kind of tough. I would like to hold on to Igbenogany. He's young enough to where it's like he might actually develop into something, even though he was awful as a rookie in real life. I don't really see, yeah, it's like outside of Jahan Dotson. I mean, bro, we'll bring back Tress Way. Shut up, Tress, dude. You are a legend in the DMV area. You gotta come back. You gotta come back. All right, so I'm gonna go make through everything's good from like a depth chart standpoint because I'm wondering like what might have changed around, why Luke McCaffrey's not really getting targeted as much, and then I will see you guys at the end of the season. All right, so we did improve over last season, which I am glad about. We did miss out on the playoffs, which I'm fine with. I want to see how we finish the season, man. Like, there had to have been something that changed, obviously. So it looks like we went on a bit of a winning streak, and we're putting up, like, good numbers. And then we went on a losing streak, and we finished the season on a win streak, which I think is big. And again, 2 of these losses on that, like, 3-game skid we're losing by 1 score, right? So, I mean, it's just one of those things where, like we gotta just be able to draft well and build well in free agency to the point where we can, in fact, win those tightly contested games. Take a look at stats. It looks like Jayden didn't have, like, a fantastic year. It looks like Brian really turned it on second half of the season. 11 touchdowns. That'll do it, man. Receiving the ball, we were able to get Luke McCaffrey a little bit back up. After we had changed that around. Really, I think we're going to be looking for maybe a tight end, like a downfield vertical type attacking tight end for Jayden Daniels if we can find it. And it looks like he likes to spread the ball around, which is, great, man. Defensively, looks like we got going. Jerzon Newton, 8 sacks at defensive tackle. That's the production we want from him, man. John Baptiste, Jamin Davis was getting in on it, man. I like it. I like it a lot. And then we were able to get a lot more interceptions and stuff. I did move Jotavius Martin to our sub linebacker spot, which I think is perfect for him because he is playing that super light fly around sort of linebacker hybrid strong safety role, and it obviously worked decently well. So it looks like overall really turned up in the second half of the season, especially, I mean, defensively, really able to get going, but it looks like we are still a little bit of a ways away offensively, and we have $100 million salary cap this offseason, right? So it's gonna be about bringing in players as we're getting into our window now. We need some top end talent to be able to get us into these playoffs and win playoff games and hopefully win a Super Bowl. So one of our running backs, a backup running back, actually almost won Offensive Rookie of the Year. Something I wanted to go over real quick. That's kind of crazy. We didn't really have any awards that we got outside of that, obviously. But I mean, I feel like I feel like we put together a better roster. I'm a little not loving the lack of performance, especially the beginning of the season, losing 4 or 5 straight is just going to set you back so much. It's like the Broncos in real life from this past year. Like, it just doesn't compute, right? Doesn't put you in a good spot to have a little bit of leeway with potentially losing games, right? And wow, the Jets got smacked in the Super Bowl. I mean, this is our staff week, right? We got to look at some of the college kids coming out. When taking a look at the mock draft, I don't think we're picking at 11 quite yet. Yeah, we haven't gone through the other mock drafts quite yet. But they're projecting us a strong safety. I will say we're definitely not drafting a strong safety. We have 2 very good strong safeties at this point. I mean, realistically, it's gonna be maybe like Bryce Cash, a deep threat tight end, sitting at 6'5", 238, great to elite everything. Yeah, I think we're going to be targeting Bryce Cash in the first round, but we do got to make some signings, see if we can improve the team outside of that, and then add to the weapons for Jayden Daniels. So we do have some players ready to negotiate. The only thing from what I recall that we're going to do is accept Jahan Dotson's contract. We're not paying De'Ami Brown. He's simply not good enough and is not going to produce enough for us outside of our like other receivers. If we take a look at mock draft 3, I'm gonna see where we're gonna be picking at. We're gonna be picking at 12. Oh my god, Bryce Cash has fallen off a cliff, but he's the guy that I want in the first round. Keep in mind we also have 2 seconds this draft, right? So we should be positioned pretty well to, go and get our guys. So taking a look at combine results real quick, I do want to see, Bryce fell. Did he have Oh, he fell off a cliff, man. Okay, so Bryce is not going to be our guy anymore, but it looks like Danny Levy is going to be someone that we keep an eye on. I mean, he looks like your traditional kind of a lighter tight end receiver, like hybrid guy. I don't know if we're going to be taking a tight end now as early, especially with them falling. At 12, we've got some potential to, if we want to dip our toes back in offensive linemen, do that. Also could be in a position to trade back or take best player available and get just another alpha receiver for Jayden Daniels. So we'll take a look. Let's look at the free agents, man. So we've got a couple of dogs that we can sign. I mean, like Trey Smith immediately in my mind. Would love to have him on the team. I would like to bring in all of these guys. A lot of offensive linemen. That's what I need, man. I think we're gonna offer on a couple of these offensive linemen, just because they are so highly rated, right? We'll throw Zach Martin a nice offer. We'll throw Joel Batonia one too, man. I mean, it's gonna be expensive, but if we can shore up this offensive line as a unit, I think it makes every aspect of the team improve on the offensive side of the ball, right? So we can run the ball, we can throw the ball, we can do kind of whatever we would want to do schematically speaking, right? So we were able to get all 3. Right, which means we have no cap left over for this year. But I think Trey Smith is easily the best signing out of all of those guys because he's only 26 years old, right? Checking out pro days. So Danny Levy is back. Okay. So Danny Levy is back. Maybe he's just a little more comfortable at his pro day. Man, I mean, it's tough. Danny Levy, you've got Bryce Cash. It's which one do I go with? I think I'm going to be a little bit more inclined to take a risk on Danny Levy because Bryce Cash did the exact same at his pro day and just not an insane athlete. So with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and get into the draft, man. I am excited to see what we can do to continue to improve this team. Offensive line wise, it would be tackle maybe, but we just brought in 3 guards, right? We're gonna have a right guard, left guard, center. We're probably going to kick one of the guards out to tackle, and then we'll go from there, man. I think looking at our lineup, it's probably kind of crazy. I mean, they haven't joined the team yet, obviously, but Cosme we could kick out to tackle. Stromberg really struggled last year, so that's kind of tough. Terry's starting to regress, so maybe do we address wide receiver? I don't know. know. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, man, without further ado, let's start the draft. So here we are at pick 12. We're going to pause the draft. So, I mean, we've got a bunch of quarterbacks. We have cornerbacks. Oh, we have a bunch of quarterbacks. Holy shit, man. And then we've got this kid, Jalen Smith, that I was looking at, right? Looks like a legit, like, pretty solid athlete. Skills-wise, the thing is, like, he's got really good catching. Awareness, generally going to be a sign of a pretty decent player. The question is, like, do we just stick and pick, right? Like, do we just sit there and take essentially what will eventually be a replacement to Scary Terry? I think we got to pull the trigger on Jalen Smith. Playmaker, right-handed, 21 years old. I think that's a good solid pick, man. And then we pick at 12 in the second round. So let's go there. So now comes the question, like, are any of our tight ends still available? No. Neither of the guys that we would have liked are still available, but Barry Hardy, how did you run? You did not run well. We'll evaluate, what is left. Freaking quarterbacks, I guess. Do we take like a second round running back? Maybe? Like, oh my god, elite jumping. Dude can just jump out the gym for some reason. I'm seeing like a pretty decent, like, elusive back here. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna bring in a very good third down back in Raheem Stevens. And he's normal. That's fine. I was gonna say his jukes, it looks like, would be insane. And then we pick again at 30, which is great, right? So let's look at what's available. We're probably just gonna take best player available. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna draft a tight end here. I think Barry's gonna be, like, decent. Looking at, like, his strength, like, at the very least, I think we get a good blocker. Yeah, B run block. B deep route is interesting. Let's take Barry. Let's see what we got, man. Okay, he's a normal dev tight end, but hey, these Iowa kids, man, you never know. And that's gonna do it for our portion of the draft. We're gonna let the CPU go ahead and knock it out. Feel like we did pretty well. We addressed positions of need. We got Terry McLaurin, a kind of successor, if you will. I feel pretty decent about that. So taking a look at our draft. Oh, we hit it out the park, baby. 76 overall. Wide receiver, and then 78 overall halfback. Absolutely love it, dude. I felt like his juke. Oh yeah, I think we just got a new starter. Man. I love it. And we drafted the best player in the draft. In the second round, man. Raheem Stevens out of Oregon. You are a starter on my team. I love it. So let's go ahead. Let's take a look at the roster. You got a lot of guards, man. I think we might be looking at moving Terry. I don't want to say that, but the team's getting younger. It just is what it is. We are definitely not going to be trading Trey Smith. So, Trey McBride. It's more important to protect Jayden Daniels than to have him huck it to Trey McBride downfield. Let's go ahead. Let's sim to the start of the regular season. We'll go over all the players that we're starting, what's going on, scheme-wise and all that, and then we'll go from there. All right, so taking a look at the squad coming into the season, this is what we're rocking with, right? Left side of our offense looks awesome. Sam Cosmi is going to be a lockdown right guard for us, of course. We're starting Hardy at tight end. We'll see. We're starting Stevens at running back because I think he's going to be explosive. And then Smith is kind of buried on the depth chart. We are going to rock one more season with Terry, and then we'll trade him off after this year if we don't win a Super Bowl. Defensively, you guys know what's going on. We do have a cornerback with hidden dev in Meredith, who we definitely want getting touches. I feel like this team looks pretty good. Slot cornerback, I don't know how I feel about Jamal Adams, and I would like Martin to play sub linebacker. In terms of third down back, like, I think Stevens has got to be that guy, and then Brian Robinson will get power back carries. Slot receiver, I would prefer Smith over Dotson. I would even prefer Luke McCaffrey, but if they want to have it that way, that's fine with me. I feel like this is the squad that should be able to really compete now. I will see you guys at the midseason mark. Fingers crossed. All right, 4-2 at the midseason mark, baby. Love it. Let's see. Let's take a look at what's going right, man. Jordan Meredith did look like a decent cornerback, so I'm interested to see how he's doing. I like it. I like it a lot, man. Let's take a look at the lineup, see what's going on. We got to have some confidence. We got to have some swagger going, I feel like. Stevens is down a little bit. Smith hasn't played enough to hit his dev trait, unfortunately. Daniels is still developing, though. I mean, that's kind of what you want. Looks like defensively we are doing the same as ever. Would like Newton to start getting towards superstar territory here soon. Let's take a look at our schedule and see like what's going on. Why are we winning games? Lost a one possession game to the Commanders. Beat the Bears. Lost a one possession game to the Eagles. Beat the Packers. Beat the Cowboys, beat the Broncos. I love it, man. I love it. I love it. I love it. So let's take a look at the stats, because I feel like stats are gonna tell us a good story of what's going on, right? Jayden, 15 touchdowns to 2 picks. 82% completion percentage is insanity, man. Rushing the ball, Raheem. Dude's getting, I mean, he's getting a lot of touches, not a great yards per carry. But Brian Robinson getting in the end zone at that power back spot. I mean, I'm not mad about that. Receiving wise, Scary Terry's getting going. Our rookie Barry Hardy, 68 overall. Second on the team, man. Luke McCaffrey's doing well. Jalen Smith has 6 touchdowns. Love it. Raheem Stevens has a touchdown. Cole Turner's getting touches. Brian Robinson's getting touches. Man, this is what the squad should be. It should be Terry, Luke. It should really be Raheem Stevens. Jahan Dotson should have touches in there. And then Barry Hardy, I'm very glad to see, is getting touches as well. And then Raheem's receiving the ball well out of the backfield. Defensively, have we taken a step up? It looks like we're getting a little bit more sack production from our guys at this point, which is good. Picks-wise, Jartavius Martin at that robber spot, at that middle linebacker, strong safety hybrid spot. Killer, man. Love it. Jamin Davis, a pick. Love it. Emmanuel Forbes as well. TFLs? How are we doing? Deron Payne, Jamin Davis, John Baptiste. I mean, man, that's what we expected. Expected a little more at this point out of our boy Jerzon Newton, but hey, if you're getting sacks, I got no complaints, right? Overall, doing very well. Jayden's having a great year so far. And defensively, doing great as well. So, I mean, we did a really good job with, you know, kind of what we've been doing in terms of developing the team, keeping it relatively young, keeping older guys, I should say, like Deron Payne, Scary Terry. Terry's only 29. We do have a lot of players ready to negotiate. We don't have that much cap room. And we do have Terry. I would love to bring back Terry. I would. I just don't think I can justify it with all the players that we would lose. So unfortunately, and this sucks because we just looked at the great season we were having. I think we're gonna have to trade away Terry. So we are going to be sending Terry to the Broncos for Marvin Mims and a first. And we're gonna give him a third to incentivize it. It sucks, man, but like recouping a younger wide receiver that's got star dev, I don't think that's a bad thing necessarily. Again, it does suck to lose your alpha number 1 receiver, but at least we do pick up a first rounder. You know, I don't think that's necessarily the worst thing in the world. So let's take a look at the lineup. Let's see. Yeah, so Mims is gonna be right in there with that key rotation of McCaffrey, Dotson, and then Smith. Again, does suck to get rid of a guy like Terry, but being able to recoup our first rounder for like almost a 30-year-old guy that's coming up on a big contract. I mean, you can't really do much more than that, right? So let's go ahead. Let's sim to the playoffs. Let's see if we can make it. I feel like we're in a good position. It does suck losing a team leader and your highest rated overall guy, but it is what it is. Let's see what we can do. And we finish with the same record as last year, and I can't help but feel like that was probably because we lost Terry McLaurin, right? Take a look at the schedule. So we went on to kind of win, lose, win, lose, 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 win, win. It's just tough, man. It's tough. Not much we can do there because financially, right? We kind of took a lot of money, put a lot of money into shoring up the offensive line for Daniels. And I mean, he performed, man. He did 37 TDs to 13 picks on a 75% completion percentage. Can't ask for more than that. Looks like Brian Robinson really eclipsed Raheem Stevens later in the season as our number 1 rusher. Receiving wise, Marvin was able to carve out a decent bit of yardage and touchdowns with the team. Hardy did great. Dotson did well, and then Jalen Smith able to get 7 touchdowns, right? So receiver room's still very much stacked. Defensively, we did not finish as strong as we started, it looks like. A lot of our sack production came from just 4 guys. Jartavius continuing to just be that jackknife at that spot for us. I absolutely love it. Yeah, and then, I mean, Jamin Davis as well. Like, just, we're putting together a real good team. I think realistically, we probably ended up losing out. Or missing out on the playoffs, I should say, because of Terry leaving or us having to trade Terry. And our boy Smith has superstar dev, right? So like that's like immediate starter, right? Yeah, I mean, maybe draft a highly rated tight end for us. We got to see what's going on, man. I mean, defensively, we are coming along, I feel like, very well, right? Between Lenore, Forbes, and Meredith. Very good. Front seven's awesome. Martin's playing his ass off at his switch position. It's tough, man. It's tough kind of figuring out where we're missing out. My only thing that I could think of is maybe is our offensive line giving up a lot of sacks? Like, is that kind of, are we failing at blocking well for him? Oh my God. Okay, so our right tackle needs to be replaced ASAP as possible. Yeah, that is not good at all. Oh my God. And we gotta go out and re-sign guys. We're gonna have to figure out something with this cap situation because we are kind of in win now mode. This was season 3. Our next season's our last season, so fingers crossed we can at least make the playoffs with our boy Jayden Daniels. Offensive Rookie of the Year was Raheem Stevens, so love it, man, love it for the kid. And Jalen Smith came in 3rd. Awesome. And Barry Hardy came in 5th. I mean, what more can you say about a great draft class, right? Like, that's awesome, man. That should give him a big XP boost, I'm hoping. We do have kind of a lot in front of us in terms of re-signing players, trying to gear up for this upcoming season. So we've got a lot of players to try and bring back. We do have a bit of cap space, thank God. We did kind of have to wait for the end of the season for that. Yeah, should be able to re-sign Brian Robinson, very inexpensive. Jamin, that boy, Davis, absolutely love him. Sinnott, you're not coming back. Percy Butler, you're not coming back. Fedarian Mathis, I would like back. Just good depth at defensive tackle. Cole Turner, no. John Ridgway, no. Evan Barton, no. Stidham, we'll bring Stidham back as a backup. All right, well, screw you. Dante Fowler's really regressing, so no. I mean, this is a lot of guys to bring back. Andrew Wiley, we are not bringing back. He got his quarterback sacked way too many times last season. So let's go ahead. Let's go into free agency. Maybe bring in a tackle. See what's available. Coming into free agency, Ronnie Stanley's right there, man. I mean, that's kind of hard to pass up. We're gonna sling him an offer. And again, tackles are really expensive, so we won't have much wiggle room after that. Let's see if we signed him. So we were able to lock down Ronnie Stanley. Dude's a just plug and play right tackle. That's kind of what we need on this team. I think we were able to see how much better we were because of the upgraded offensive line. I mean, Jayden had a great year, so it's gonna be interesting seeing how the team functions without Scary Terry, right? Can McCaffrey take that leap? Can our rookie from last year take that leap, right? Can Jahan Dotson continue to grow, even though he's kind of been underperforming? But just because we've been able to fill so many weapons, or fill the team with so many weapons, so it's just kind of hard. Without further ado, man, let's get into this draft. I'm excited for this. So we're drafting at 11, and that's our pick, and then we have another one at 16. So it's like, all right, what is here that we need, man? What is here that we need? Our tight end is still there, man. Our tight end is still there. I have a feeling he'll probably still be there at 16. So I don't want to necessarily like pull the trigger too early on that tight end. And that kind of lets us go like, hey, like what could we use, right? What could we benefit from? I think like left end, right end is something that is definitely interesting for us, right? Bart Spillman, physical player, shows discipline. Oh my God. You, sir, are a commander. Hidden dev, baby. Love to see it. 85 speed rusher. Yeah. Just sling him off the edge, man. Just let the man go to work. And then we're going to take our tight end. It might be a little early, but I like my guy, man. I like my guy. Ben Rush, you are a commander. Normal dev. Damn it. I surely hope he's higher overall. All right. Those are our 2 big picks, right? We're going to go ahead. We'll let the CPU take care of it. Sometimes they have better luck drafting than we do, but filled 2 legit good spots right there. And we'll see how we came out with the draft. All right, so hopping into the draft recap. We didn't draft terribly. Ben Stevenson, we got a strong safety. Love it. Rush and Spillman look like whatever, in all honesty, especially compared to last year. There was a number 2 overall receiver. The Marquess Minor went right before we picked, so that kind of sucks. Kai Price went right before we picked. Again, another very highly rated fullback. I mean, just a lot of stuff at positions where we didn't really need anything, right? Like it's kind of tough because we are in win now mode, but we've got the roster to win now, right? So I will see you guys as we gear up for our 4th and final season. So we are starting our last season. Dude, we're going aggressive. We're going all out. We're trying to win the Super Bowl, right? We're trying to win a ring. We are ring chasing. Looking at our lineup, I mean, I feel like we got a pretty stacked squad, right? We've got Stevens, Brian Robinson, Daniels. Our receiving core is loaded. I would like Rush to get touches. We did lose some of our guys, like our left guard and our center in the offseason because they retired. Did not realize that, which sucks. Like, just nothing you can do about that. Looking defensively, right, we've got a pretty stacked front seven. It looks like our main guy, though, might have gotten cut, which is whack. We do have a developing strong safety, and I would kind of like to even start Jamal Adams over him and Chin. We still got Diamondor Lenore, Emmanuel Forbes. We got Nobles, who we drafted, right? We've got some dogs, man. Specialists wise, I would like Smith to get touches in the slot. Rush left end, we want our boy Doris to be getting those touches. I want Stevenson to get touches at slot corner. Sub linebacker, I feel like Jamin Davis is like a pretty good plug and play option. So I mean, this is the squad we're going into the season with, man. Let's see how we do. Let's see how we compete. I feel like it's a pretty strong team overall. Without further ado, I will see you guys at week 8. And we are 2-5 at the midseason mark, man. I mean, I'm gonna get into it at the end of the video a little bit, but I do kind of, I have my thoughts on why this would be happening. And I mean, we beat the Ravens, 1 possession game loss, one possession game loss. Like, I mean, let's take a look at the stats wise, right? I mean, dude, Jayden's that guy. Jayden's that guy for sure. Rushing, Raheem just cannot average more than 4 yards a carry. He's allergic to it, and we are not really running the ball into the end zone. Receiving wise, Jahan Dotson for some reason is leading the team. Jalen Smith is just catching all the touchdowns. Luke McCaffrey continuing to be that guy. Marvin Mims is decent, right? Like, I like that Rush is getting touches. Blocking wise, what's going on with this? I mean, like, and this is kind of what I'm going to get into at the end of the video, is the defense is its own thing, right? It's its whole own thing. But if you cannot protect Jayden Daniels while he's in Washington, it's going to be a crapshoot, man. And we're having a great pressure season from our guys, and we caught 1 interception. I mean, that's just tough. That's just tough. And Emmanuel Forbes should not be leading the team in tackles. I'll tell you that. 130.7 passer rating also for Daniels is insane. I mean, dude, like, this team should be able to win it all. Let's send to the playoffs and see what we finish out with. And we finish with our worst record so far. I mean, dude, did we get hit with the injury bug? Like, what happened, man? Like, we've got such a legitimately solid team outside of the offensive line. I feel like I am a touch confused as to like what happened, what went wrong, man. Why is Meredith why is he not that guy anymore? I mean, let's take a look at the stats and the schedule and see what happened maybe. So looking at the schedule, man, I mean, we were just getting whooped up on. I mean, the last, like, so we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 1 possession games. I mean, I feel like I put this team in a position to win, murdering the cap as best as I could. I mean, dude, Jayden, 117.3 passer rating is like, are you kidding me, man? I mean, that's great. That's what we need from him, rushing wise. Brian Robinson's able to excel while Raheem is not, which is just so bizarre to me. And maybe we're not taking enough advantage of Jayden's ability to scramble as a runner. Perhaps that's what it was in this video. Tell you what though, if Luke McCaffrey develops like this, I'll be super happy for him. Just a little bit, a little disappointed, and like what was the sack? What did the sacks look like? Dude, like we can't have 8 sacks from a guard and 10 from a tackle and 6 from another guard. Like, it just can't happen. Jerzon had his best season yet, and yet Jamal, and interesting, they play the same position. Good overall performance. I have a feeling what kind of killed us though was the offensive line play, and that's kind of the main concern, at least in my mind. When I think about Jayden Daniels and his future as a Washington Commander, is how do they develop that and build that around him? Obviously, they brought in Jeremy Chin, Austin Eckler, right? A bunch of really good players. We saw how the lack of offensive line kind of played out in this video, right? If you go and watch my Carolina Panthers video, it's very different because Bryce comes in, or Bryce, like in his second season pretty much, not very many weapons, right? But he's got a very decent offensive line. Jayden Daniels is going to have legit weapons, right? He's got Jahan Dotson. He's got De'Ami Brown. He's got Terry McLaurin, right? He's going to have Ertz, but he's not going to have an offensive line. So it's kind of that, it's that like meme where it's like, would you rather try and throw super far downfield to Marvin Harrison Jr., or would you rather throw super far downfield to some random receiver while you're getting protected by Joe Alt, right? That's kind of, my worry for Jayden Daniels coming into this season in real life. That was a fun video, though, man. I think it's very representative of what could happen to the Commanders in real life if they don't prioritize protecting Jayden Daniels. You're gonna lose games on sacks, one possession games, if you just cannot buy time to protect him. And I think that's got to be a priority for them. So I thank you all for watching. Patriots video will be out here shortly as I am running the gauntlet of all of the teams as we kind of prepare ourselves for the NCAA 25 experience. That's going to be, fingers crossed, phenomenal. If you guys did enjoy this video, please drop a like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you guys want to see next. Obviously, I'm doing all these rebuilds, but if there's something specific you'd like to see, don't hesitate to write a comment. I love you all. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.